Hello, good afternoon. Welcome back to Simply Gregster EV. Today you join us at the shop. As I promised you, we'll be spending a lot more time in the shop with electric vehicles. Today we have a 2023 Hyundai IONIQ 5 all-wheel drive that was just purchased by one of my friends as a R&D car, but it has quite a bit of mileage on it for its year. So let's get it up in the air and we'll do an inspection on it and we'll see what's what and we'll go over if this car is worth it to keep or not. Stay tuned. This is the IONIQ 5 that fell into my lap for the last few days doing some testing on it. So it's a 2023. There's roughly 69,000, 70,000 kilometers on this car, which is quite a bit for its year. It had a very rough previous life as a rideshare car. I think this is one of the best looking EVs on the market, although really massive, but looks really cool. Everything seems to be good here. There's a couple nicks and dings on it. Like I said, this car's had a pretty rough life before. We'll just go over it quickly. But standard dual motor, 77.4 kilowatt hour battery, nominal IONIQ 5. Nothing to go crazy about here. Nothing really I can see wrong with it. Maybe there's part of the trim that's broken off down there and the mismatched tires. But yeah, this was kind of bought like a R&D car. There's going to be a lot of testing going on with this car for repairs and whatnot. We'll go have a look at the interior. Interior is actually really clean considering its previous life. It's just wintertime here. That's just grime and dirt. But the seats held up really nice in this car. The bolsters are still nice. Interior steering wheel is still nice. We'll just jump in here quickly. We'll turn it on. As you see here, 69,473 kilometers. Everything in here is as you would expect. Very easy to use. The infotainment system on here is great. The tech is great. As long as you keep updating it, I'm told. But everything is all right in here. We'll just give it a once over and back. And again, nice cloth interior. Everything's in good shape. I don't think these back seats have been used much. And he got a pretty good deal on this car. We'll go over that after. Just got the car up into the air. This is a heavy car. This is around 5,000 pounds. So make sure your lift is rated for the capacity. And this goes for SUVs as well. You'd be surprised how much some of these EVs weigh. So we're at 11,000 pounds, so we're good. And this lift is in good shape. Just had it inspected. All right, let's have a look at the car itself. Anything concerning here? Nah, let's give the wheels a shake. Nothing loose there. Let's go have a look at the back over here. Remember those old Mazdas, these top plates would always fail on Volkswagens too. This one looks good. Nothing feels loose over here. We'll come back underneath. We'll do the same thing here. This looks good. The tires on it, these tires are finished. They're mismatched. We'll be putting a new set of tires on it. Those are cooked. Those are useless. Nothing too crazy over here. Everything even looks good underneath paint-wise on the car. Like I said, it just needs a good scrub. It's had a really rough life, this car, but the price reflected that as well. And again here, nothing loose over here. Everything looks good up there. Let's put it up in the air all the way up and we'll go have a look underneath the car. Now, first thing we're going to have a look at is the battery pack, because we all remember what happened last year was someone whacked the pack, ran over a piece of debris or something, and it was damaged. But this one looks good here. This under tray, as I suspected, this glue unbonds. I don't think that's a big deal. This could be rebonded back in place. It doesn't look like a couple small little scratches here, but that's nothing crazy. It's just more of a protection on it. I don't know how well this will hold up over time over here, but the pack itself looks fairly good. No real corrosion here. Back end looks all right. Let's have a quick pokey with the bar. That looks good. This looks good. Yeah, no real rust or corrosion here. Like I said, 70,000 kilometers. I wish I could see the brakes. Let me go grab my light. We'll go check the brakes after we do the suspension. Let's have a look over here. Nothing crazy here. I don't think there's anything wrong with this car. I've been driving it. No knocks or anything like that. Everything seems to be in good shape. Let me grab my light. And let's just check. Brake pads look phenomenal on it. The discs look pretty good. Some light rust, maybe just clean them up a bit with some hard braking. Nothing crazy going on over here. Everything looks real solid. This, we'll probably bond this back in place. I'll have to figure out a way to do it, but just normal wear and tear, it looks like to me. This was a stupid idea in the first place, this plastic pack. Sorry, this plastic pack cover, that was just stupid. I knew it was going to unbond over time. Back brakes look good too. Pads look brand new on it. Now, one of my friends who works at the dealer told me check the rear axle boots. Make sure there's nothing going on there. I don't see any grease spraying, do you? Nah, nothing's happening up there. Everything looks, I'll go over here. Everything looks good. Nothing seems to be leaking. I got a funny feeling these screws are going to snap the moment you go to take them out. And like I said, the tires, we're going to change the tires. We're going to sell them a set of new tires in springtime, a set of new summers. So everything looks good under here. We'll bring the car back down. We'll have a look with the scan tool. I hooked up our scan tool, our Autel MaxiSys Ultra EV. Battery charger, coupler, lock, circuit performance. I think that's a common issue on these cars, but these ones here, EVSE failure and DC EVSE communication error. I wonder if that was a fault with the actual electrical vehicle service equipment or charger. If anyone knows these codes, please let me know. It could be kind of cool to know them. So we went through the car, didn't find anything really too crazy. He got a good deal on it. He paid $27,000 for it. Like I said, 70,000 kilometers. Perhaps not the best price, but not horrible. These are going roughly with less mileage for probably about 31 to 35 now. As I said, this is a 2003 dual motor with the bigger battery in it. I believe they sold a rear-wheel drive with a smaller battery pack. I like this car. Very interesting car. Looks good. Maybe just a bit too big. I always call it. It's kind of a garden shed. Nothing really alarming on the car, but these EGMP cars have had quite a few issues throughout the year. Specifically, the ICCUs. They just got recalled again. There's a couple of other nuances that fail on them. It really does rattle. I know the windscreen's been replaced in it. I don't know if that's been bonded incorrectly, but it rattles horribly around the dashboard, and the rear hatch rattles like crazy. And the whole car just rattles in general. That would drive me nuts. But from a mechanical point of view, everything looks good. The wheels aren't going to fall off. There's no heavy corrosion on it. Nothing like that. We scan tested it. Maybe I would find out if the new ICCU update was done, bring it into the dealer. They could look more in depth into the other codes that we found in there. There are a few service items that have to be done on this car, specifically the battery coolant circuit fluid coolant, which is a low conductive fluid that apparently costs a fortune. One of the guys in the EV club, he called around to have it done on his IONIQ 5, and the price varied from like $600 to $1,700. And if you search on the forums, this is a very common complaint, and I think it has to be done every 60 or 70,000 kilometers, something like that. And only on 2022, 23, and 24. Apparently the 25s, which is the refreshed model, you don't have to do it so often as on the older cars. And it's a specific low conductive fluid from Hyundai that costs an absolute
Completely forgot to add while the car was inside the shop was the battery health on this car is at 100% state of health, according to the OBD2 scanner app. But also the DC fast charging cycles on this car is 66 or 67, and the regular AC charging cycles on this car is about, again, 68 or 67. So I found that interesting that you could actually bring that up a lot easier through the car scanner app versus the actual Autel Diagnostics scanner. So that's another thing to keep in mind when buying one of these cars, is maybe have a good look at that to see how many times it's been DC charged, or just how many times it's been charged, like how many cycles are on the battery. But still 100% state of health at 70,000 kilometers, which is frankly really good. I wish we had more time. We would have done a complete battery health analysis, but time was very short.
These cars now are getting on the used market, out of rental fleets, lease returns, that sort of thing. There's a new model out now. The 2025s just launched. They have a native NACS port or J3400 port that will make life a lot easier. So I think you could get a good deal on one of these if you have access to a wholesale. auction. Even then, dealers, like I said, 31 to 35 for like a fully trimmed out model with the cool 21s or 22s on it. It's really cool wheels, really cool car, looks real good, and charging speeds on it are ridiculous, like proper. We had the EV6, so the cousin of this car in Iceland, and yeah, it will do the 10 to 80% in about 18 minutes, 19 minutes, which is pretty good. And now you can plug it into a Tesla supercharger and it'll just sit there 130 kilowatts charging perfectly flat. Interesting car. I think it's worth buying used. Perhaps the Hyundai dealer support isn't as great as it should be. A lot of stories from people I actually know as well that had issues with the dealer, with the car sitting there for months on end, phantom drains, wiring issues, module issues. So hopefully they're all working through that with updated parts. But I think this was a solid buy. This is a pretty clean car based on my experience. As I said, we're just getting into EV space here at the shop. We just hired an EV tech who completed his training. So we'll be seeing this car a lot more often along with other EVs. If you made it this far, please think about liking and subscribing. And I hope that you learned something. I learned something. And if I got something wrong, please comment down below and I'll pin the post. So that's it for now. We'll see you in the next film.